100 years ago, you couldn't build a golf course like this here. Obviously, all the equipment needed, but in the end, it's wonderful. It's an absolute playground for anyone that sort of loves to play the game. It is desert golf, obviously because of the terrain, but the green oasis that cuts in between is each hole. It just sort of gives you a totally different experience because you keep having to remind yourself you are smack bang in the middle of the desert.
Long and straight, about 320 yards, and in the fairway. Little uphill to this green, Frank. Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
Pretty good result right there, considering...
It looked rough all the way.
Exactly.
Rich, really did.
On the green, and a chance for birdie here in the first hole. Getting set now over the putt. -1 in the early going. Here at the par 4, 445-yard second hole. Severe dogleg to the left. What's the best play here, Frank?
Well, that tee shot, Rich, is so intimidating, so you don't necessarily have to hit driver. Club decision is probably going to be important. Oh, he is winding this one up. Does he have the power, though?
This is a shot from 115 yards. This has really been a challenge all day long with these winds coming from different directions, changing speeds. It's gone from 15 upwards 25 miles per hour. Really a test for the players. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here.
Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seemed to baby it.
Okay, good shot on the dance floor. A makeable putt right here. He is currently sitting at 1 under par. Oh, man.
Just pushed it.
Boy, that hurts. Now he has this for double bogey. 1 over for the day. Frank, 227 yards from the back tee here at the par 3 third. This is all you want.
Well, that's for sure. Plays a little longer than that, too, by virtue of playing uphill. Thin air might negate some of that. There's going to be a good shot just to keep the ball on the green. One of the smaller greens here. This is not heading in the right direction.
Well, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Into the thick stuff. That's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Wow, Frank, he did well just to get it on the green from that lie.
I didn't think that was doable. It's no snack, though. Well, for such a strong man, weak putt.
Now I'll have to make this just to avoid making Michael Dublé. So he has that for bogey. I can't help but think that the double bogey at 1 and now another at number 2 has really taken him out of his game at this point.
In the direction of the sand.
It looks like it. Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a greenside bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, almost fell within just a few inches of dropping. So they'll tap in. And that is disappointing. She just hit it a bit too long.
We forget really how well ladies swing the club at times too. They have the same problems that men do. You hit it too well, it's not going to stop. Ah, nice.
Looks good.
Oh, that had some meat behind it.
Frank, what's it going to take here on this approach at the par 5?
Well, some people might actually try and bounce it in between those two bunkers and run the ball up on the green, but personally, I'd try and actually take a hybrid or something with a little bit more loft and try and fly the ball. Take those two bunkers out of play.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, too bad. He'll have to play from the bunker. Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance really for birdie, but really it was a rather poor approach shot.
Frank, I'm not saying he should pull out driver here, but this is a long putt.
Greens are fast though. You never know. Good line, good pace. Might have a chance.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Wow, that's disappointing. Chance to get too deep on one hole and you leave it short.
Well, the good thing is he didn't miss it. All right? He didn't go past and miss. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Okay. Still has a chance for birdie, too.
Right, okay. I like that positive attitude.
That's an absolute tracer right there. In the fairway and well over 320 yards. Well, that's how you play the game right there. Knock it on the green and give yourself a good look at birdie.
This is an awkward length.
Don't leave it short. Wow. Just a couple of feet. Just slides by.
Yeah, can't afford to miss too many of those out here today.
Bit inconsistent. 4 bogeys now on the round. Well, everybody loves the short par 4. And here we have one, Frank, just 302 yards, the 7th hole.
And this hole is anything other than straightforward, Rich. Huge drop off at the front of the screen that is surrounded by water. So it's going to be a layup off the tee, really, to try and get the right yardage. This green is very, it's not very deep, but it's extremely wide. The hardest thing is to try and get a flat lie with whatever club you decide to hit off the tee and get the right yardage. Otherwise, that green actually might be a little elusive, even though this is a very short hole.
Oh, my goodness. That is on in one. Wow. What an incredible shot. He's not going to be real happy with that. Wow. As this putt for birdie. And at last, he has made a birdie.
And what can he do from here, though? Is that the start of something? It looks like it is.
Par 3/8, 248 yards down to the green. What a hole.
Yeah, maybe you put your two hands together, make a little prayer. You might make 2, but make 3 here and run to the next tee. This is it's just a gorgeous par 3. Yeah, but it is tough. Every bit as tough as what it is pretty, as a matter of fact. Pretty close. He'll be looking at about 15 feet for birdie.
All right, let's see if he can make back-to-back birdies and really start to pick up some momentum after a struggle at the start of the day.
Yeah, his body language is starting to change, so good chance here. And you never know, maybe get on a run, or this could be the start of a run.
Chases that in for par to stay at 4 over. Set to round out the front side here at Wolf Creek with a par 4.
Fun hole for the big hitter, too. They can really take advantage of this. The last fairway bunker down there on the right side is just over 300 yards to get over it. And longer hitters could nearly drive it in the green side bunker on the right. So just tee it up there. You're playing desert golf for a reason. Enjoy it. Just have a little flick in here. And chance, too, to have a little birdie at the end of your front 9.
Well, that sets up well for a chance at the green here at the 9th. On the green in regulation. These putts keep the round together.
Oh, I thought they'd at least pick up a shot. Birdie looked like a sitter. Now par.
In for par. Start of the back 9 here at Wolf Creek Golf Club in Mesquite, Nevada. Rich Lerner for EA Sports with my partner Frank Nobilo. Frank, tell us about the 10th.
It looks intimidating off the back of this tee, Rich, and that's because the desert ridge on that right side, it sort of blocks your view and you don't see the right side of this fairway. Once you realize there's a lot more room to the right, then that tee shot becomes a little bit easier. Now also the angle of this green, you're going to see it sort of turn to the right there. So you've really got to be careful on where the flag is positioned on this green. If they put the flag back right, then obviously that's the hardest this hole's going to play. Flag sort of left of center, then this still could very much be a birdie hole.
He's knocked it on the green, but not in a great position. This is a difficult chance coming up here. Long birdie try. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Been a rocky road to this point. 4 over par on the round. On to the 11th hole. We're looking downhill, 215 yards to the green.
And this is one of the holes that you realize you're at Wolf Creek. You would never see this hole anywhere else in the world. It's amazing when you stand on this tee. You see all of the canyons around, but there is a little green area down there surrounded by a couple of bunkers. It's a great-looking par 3. It measures 215 yards. Very playable, and you never know. Today might be the day where you make birdie.
This is a pretty long putt here. You'd be happy to get this to within 2 or 3 feet. You really want to take the stress out of that next putt. This one has good line. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. Just a sensational putt. From a par 3 to a par 5 here at the 12th. It measures 560 yards, a sweeping dogleg left, and there is some trouble down that left side.
This is a scary tee shot. There's no two ways about it, Rich. You've got to get the ball in play because you can really rack up a good score here. That water very much in play. Doesn't matter what club you decide to hit off the tee. 560 yards actually is reachable, believe it or not. But you've got to get it on the fairway. You don't really have to be too brave and try and take too much over there. The other thing, too, to consider about is this green is nearly half the length of an NFL football field. It is 55 yards from the front of this green to the back of the green.
That's one of the more depressing sights in golf. You hit a good one, and then it just sucks back too much spin off the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. From hard times to good times, back-to-back birdies. 13th hole, and Frank, Wolf Creek is really kind of a macho golf course because you can stand on a tee like this and say, you know what, I'm going to take this one over the mountains.
And then, if you do, then you flip the coin. Is it in play or is it out of play? This is one hole. You just you realize you're in the middle of the desert, that's for sure. And one hole that you think, well, if I play this hole a couple of times, I might just get the hang of it.
Second shot from the rough. It's on the way. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and Now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. See if he does it here. I mean, just get it out.
Well, in the sand, but it has been raked nicely, looking for something positive. And he's in the sand again. Unlucky. So getting set for a greenside bunker shot. Frank, when I think of the great bunker players in the history of the sport, I think about Gary Player, Seve Ballesteros, whom you knew so well. What did they do that made them so effective on these greenside bunker shots?
They had an attitude for a start that was different. For them, it was they saw possibilities. And they would imagine the amount of sand. Remember, because this is the only shot in golf where you don't have to hit the ball first. So they would really choose the amount of sand behind the ball, whether that was an inch or two. Aim the club at that and made sure they followed through.
I mean, he just blasted it down the fairway, well over 325 yards. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. Should be safely on deck.
No problems there. Really good approach shot. And now, good look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. Wow, he got robbed, Frank.
No, it's like kissing your mother-in-law.
Clean this up with a tap. Did the job right there. Now to the short par 3 15th hole here at Wolf Creek. What is this, Frank? Just a wedge or a 9-iron?
That's all, Rich, but it's very tempting to get greedy here. And, well, you pay the price, obviously, if you miss the green on the left down in those bunkers because they're a good 6-7 feet below the level of the green. But with a wedge or a 9-iron, he doesn't go aiming at the flag.
Not terrible, but not his best.
Yeah, outside chance, really, for birdie, but really, it was a rather poor approach shot.
Looks like he just misread that. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace, it's hard to be critical of that.
So a drop shot. Now to the 16th hole, and Frank, another good scoring chance.
If you can avoid the confusion off the tee, it looks like the hole might be a dog leg, then is it a carry? It meanders from one way to the other, but really when you actually break the hole down, it's virtually straight ahead. Those two bunkers in the driving distance, they frame the hole nicely, so play it as a straightaway par 4. It should. It's gone for a little extra.
Frank, this one's not looking good.
Yeah, certainly not down the fairway line, heading toward the rough.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Oh, can't hide the flagstick from that man. So a bright spot finally, and now at +6. So 2 holes left to play. Now the final par 5 on the course, 562 yards, the 17th.
The drive looks relatively straightforward. And I say that because there's a little creek down there that obviously you have to stay short of. But that's the fun part. They want to keep you back in an area where you go, can I hit the second shot across the stream, across the water, and still keep...
Lost that one, out of bounds, and that is a costly stroke. So playing the third shot right now after having gone OB. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Into the tall cabbage. That ball is swallowed up. So, Frank, he'll take a drop here.
Yeah, he'll take his medicine, take his penalty shot. The hole's not over yet.
Frank, what's the best way to get at the golf ball when it's sitting down just a bit in the rough?
You have to accept the fact, first and foremost, that you're not going to get clean contacts. You have to decide whether the ball's going to come out short or it's going to fly. Because very rarely will it come out the normal distance of what you hit on the fairway. So if it's a little thin and wispy, chances are it might fly. If it's nestled down, you're going to have to take at least another club.
Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. 18th hole, and Frank, again, a good scoring opportunity. Short par 4.
Yeah, if you looked at the scorecard, you'd think you could drive this green, but one quick look at the trouble in front and to the right of the screen, and you realize that's probably not the prudent play. Really, something 230, 240 yards off the tee in that.
Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Third shot now, after the last one found the deep blue.
Yeah, you can still minimize the damage here. It's only one bad shot that you got punished for. There's a big green, and they're going to use every inch of it.
Well, the stats say that is a green hit in regulation, but it's not yet a par on the card. Very tough putt coming up. So a tough way to close the round, missing a short putt and a bogey here at 18. Not a gimme, but well within his range. And you almost lose count at this point. Safe to say, not under par. In fact, well over par. So, Frank, as we put a wrap on the day, it wasn't his best performance, but there's always tomorrow in golf.
Yeah, you still got to keep your head high. Golf's a game that's going to be, it's going to bring everybody to